banaanbaxyadii ugu ballaadhnaa taariikhda inta la xusuusto sida la sheegay ayaa xalayto waxay ka dhaceen magaalooyinka waaweyn ee gobolka Minnesota ee dalka Mareykanka. magaalada Minneapolis ayaa xudun u ahayd banaanbaxyada waxaana isugu soo baxay 100,000 oo dibadbaxayaal ah kuwaasi oo ka soo horjeeda ciidamada Police ICE ee dowladda federaalka Mareykanka ay ku soo daabushay gobolka. madaxweynaha Mareykanka Donald Trump ayaa amray in Soomaalida ku nool gobolka Minnesota la soo qabto kuwa sharci la'aanta ah xataa kuwa kale ayaa madaxweyne Trump uu qabaa in haddii loo baahdo qaarkood sharciyada lagala laaban karo inkastoo dastuurka u degsan waddanka Mareykanka uu ku noqday xujo iyo xarig aan ciyaar lagu goyn karin. si kastaba ciidamada aadka u tirada badan ee ku sugan gobolka Minnesota ee Police ICE ayaa ka sii wada magaalooyinka gobolka Minnesota qabashada dadka immigrantga ama dadka iyagu markaasi aan haysanin sharciga rasmiga ah ee waddanka Mareykanka. xataa waxa ciidamadu ay qaban hayaan dad sharciga haysta xataa baasaboorku haysta kuwa kuba dhasho ku cirreystay ayaa ay qaban hayaan. waxaa cajiib ah haddii qofka loo garto wajigiisa in uu Soomaali yahay in ay dhib yar tahay in la iska qabto. hadda ogow howlgalku wuxuu ku wajahan yahay Soomaali laakiin dadka kale ee ayagana markaasi aan sharciga haysanin waa la qaban hayaa haddii la arko oo la xaqiijiyo in ayna haysanin. xataa kuwa guryaha lagu jabiyay ayaa jira balse sida caadiga ah dadka dagaalka lagula jira ee warbaahinta laga caynhaya ee la caydsan haya ee howlgalku uu ku wajahan yahay waa Soomaalida. waxa soo raacana waa dadka Laatiiniga gaar ahaan waddanka dadka u dhashay waddanka deriska la Mareykanka ee la yiraahdo Mexico. banaanbaxan aadka u ballaaran ee xalayto ay dadku isugu soo baxeen magaalada Minneapolis ayaa ay ku dhawaaqayeen ICE out ha ka baxaan ciidamada Police ICE magaalada Minneapolis iyo gobolka Minnesota ayaga oo goobta centerka ah. markii dambe dadku ay iskugu yimaadeen mas'uuliyiinta ugu sarreysa gobolka ayaa khudbado halkaasi ka jeedisay. Soomaalida ayaa wacdara ka dhigay banaanbixii xalayto ayaga oo sambusaha iyo alaabaha yaryarka dadka la u waday oo markaasi ku horwaday baraf aan tiisoo kale horay loo arag ayaa gobolka ka dhacaya. dadka maryahooda ayaa barafka uu ku dhacaya wajigooda ayaa asaga dhanba uu baraf ka sokeeya. xaaladdu aad ayaa markay noqoto dhinaca cimilada ay u adkeyd. inta ugu badan dadka soo baxay ee banaanbaxa hayay waxay ahaayeen dadka caddaanka ah ee gobolka u dhashay waxaana si guud ay dadku ka soo wada horjeedaan howlgallada halkaasi ka soconaya. waxaa jira warar hoose oo sheegaya in ciidamada ICE laga saari doono gobolka Minnesota amaba ugu yaraan la dhimi doono oo in badan oo kamid ah la saarayo oo markaasi tiro yar laga yaabo in ay ku soo xari doonto. khudbadaha mas'uuliyiintu ay jeediyeen ayaa ay ku sheegeen in ay geed dheer iyo geed gaabanba u fuulahayaan sidii ciidamada ICE ay uga bixi lahaayeen gobolka ayna diiwaan gelin hayaan qalad kasta oo muwaadiniinta Mareykanka lagu sameeyo iyo dadka nabadgelyo doonka ah ee gobolka ku nool. maxkamado badan ayaa bilaaban haya dadkii dhibaatada loo geystay kuwii la aflagaadeeyay kuwii la handaday wixii oo dhan kiisaskoodii ayaa isdul saaran. maxkamadahana waa la jaamgarayn doonaa mardhow sida mas'uuliyiintu ay sheegeen ayadoo oo dadkii muwaadiniinta ahaa ee dhulka lagu jiiday ee gabadhii Nasro Axmed ahayd ay ku jirto oo gabadh kale ay ku jirto oo hooyo Soomaaliyeed ay ku jirto oo dad kale oo community kale ay ku jiraan. dadkaasi oo dhan malaayiin dollar oo lacag laga yaabo in ay helaan markii kadib ay dhibaatadii lagu sameeyay oo maqal iyo muuqaal ah ayaga oo muwaadiniin Amerikaan ah ay la tagaan cadeymahoodii maxkamadaha isla markaana dawladda lagu xukumi doono wixii halkaasi ay ka geysteen. si kastaba dadka tirada badan ee isku soo baxay ayaa waxa muuqaaladoodii iyo hadalladoodii kamid ahaa sida tan.
And Jeremy Messersmith, come on now. Again, I'm Liz Winstead. I'm so excited to be here. I'm a native Minnesotan. I'm a comedian. I also run an organization called Abortion Access Front. Where our motto is fund abortion care, not ICE. It's my honor to take you through this program. Man, oh man, is this state being tested. And man, oh man, have you guys shown up. And I am so thankful to call all 50,000 people that marched today. And the untold thousands that are in this Sport Bowl facility. I am proud to call you neighbors. I do have to point out that we are in the Target Center, which may seem ironic. But remember, the Target Center is something our tax dollars pay for. So chant it with me. Whose stadium? Whose stadium? There you go. You guys know the drill. So I really want to officially start this rally by bringing up a few of my fellow Minnesotans who represent several different faith communities and traditions. So please join me in welcoming Indigenous activists and protectors Rachel Thunder, Nick Estes, Vinnie Dion, Pastor Russell, Imam Abdullah, and Rabbi Lekach Rosenberg. Come on up, people!
Hello, Minneapolis. Bonjour, everybody. My name is Vin Dion. I am a hometown boy, born and raised right here, South Minneapolis at Little Earth. I'm here with the Indigenous Protector Movement, and I'm here to sing a song. The song I'm going to sing is the American Indian Movement National Anthem. AIM was founded right here in South Minneapolis back in 1968. Miigwech, I love you, Minneapolis.
Tanse, Geranaskamo, Nananaskamo, Napsis, Nanahiwak, Upsis, Rachel Dion Thunder. Hello, everybody. Hello, Minneapolis. Hello to the country and hello to the world that is watching what is unfolding on our streets here. Make no mistake, we are facing a full federal occupation by the United States government through the arm of ICE on unceded Dakota land. I speak as a Native woman, as a Cree woman, from generations of Indigenous resistance and activism, that our people, as Indigenous people, have been resisting the colonial governments of North and South America for hundreds of years. I am here to say that migration is our right, that no one is illegal on stolen land, Native people, Indigenous people, historically, first we were savages, then we were radicals and anarchists during the civil rights movement. Here today, we are being labeled as violent domestic terrorists. They are the violent ones. They are the ones that murdered Renee Nicole Good. They are the ones that are taking our children off the streets. They are the ones that have invaded our lands. And they are the ones that destroy the earth. But don't be fooled. These violent tactics in the business of creating fear is the illusion of power that this authoritarian regime thrives off of. The real power, the true power, is in each and every one of you. The true power, streets, protecting our neighborhoods, protecting our children, protecting the elders and the mothers and the fathers, and protecting all of our neighbors here in Minnesota. We collectively are the real power. And that fucking terrifies them. That is why they are here in the thousands, because they see the real power of the people. We are in a moment of absolute united power. Now is the time to flex that strength and that power. Now is the time to stand up. Now is the time to organize and to take action. Now is the time to fight back. Now is not only the time where we say enough is enough, but these times demand unapologetic action. And together, through this unified power of Indigenous peoples, of all of our allies, of all of the communities that are under attack, now is the time to come together as all people, as all races, as all cultures. Because when we step into that power, we are unstoppable. And together, we will dismantle, we will defund, and we will stop the violence that is happening on our streets. Thank you.
My name is Nick Estes. I'm an enrolled member of the Lower Brule Sioux tribe. I'm also an associate professor of American Indian Studies at the University of Minnesota. I'm out here today standing with my fellow educators whose schools are under attack, whose students are under attack, whose families and communities are under attack. We can't wait for the bosses. We can't wait for the managers to do what's right. We can't wait for them to grow a conscience or a spine. We have to exercise that right as workers. As an educator and as somebody who's Indigenous from these lands, Bide Ota Otruwe, what you call Minneapolis, I like to tell a little bit of history, because that fort, Fort Snelling, when it was built in the 19th century, it was built to genocide our people. It was built as a concentration camp, as a projection of US power in this region to genocide Indigenous people and Dakota people. From the very first stone they laid in that fort, Dakota people resisted. And we will continue to resist until they remove the very last stone from that fort. Because all of you today are now feeling what we have been feeling for centuries. This did not begin in December with Operation Metro Surge. This began centuries ago when they built that fort. The regional ICE facilities is now housed at Fort Snelling. As somebody from the Ocheti Shakoi, we say abolish ICE, ICE out of Minnesota, yes. But if we want this problem to end once and for all, we also have to say, take down that fort. And I want you all to remember that when you're on the streets, when you're on your patrols, when you're watching your students, your family members get taken away, that this isn't something new or unique, but this is a continuum of colonialism. And it takes all of us. This isn't just an Indian problem. This is all of our problems. And we have to stand up as workers, as educators, as healthcare workers to fight back. And as we see on the streets, that means tearing down that fort in our minds, tearing down that fort in our hearts, tearing down that fort that surrounds our spirit and tries to choke it out. But it also means tearing down that fort. Thank you.
Hello, Minnesota family. How we feeling out there? Well, I don't know about you, but I'm really proud to be a Minnesotan in this moment. Do I have anybody that can agree with me on today? My name is Dr. B. Chavez Russell. I'm the senior pastor at Greater Friendship Missionary Baptist Church. It's located in South Minneapolis. And scripture declares that in Psalm 68:1, let God arise, let his enemies be scattered. This is a song of victory that remembers the past victories of God. It remembers his power in the victories that he has in store for us. In my culture, we say that if he did it before, he can do it again. It is a call for God to intervene in this moment with his power. It is a call for God to intervene in this moment with his guidance. It is a call for God to intervene right now with his strength to fight our battles with us. It is a call for God to establish his order in the chaos that has been created by this administration right here in our city. Declaration that when God moves, there is no room for the enemies. When God rises, hate has to scatter. When God rises, fear has to scatter. Lies has to scatter. Injustice has to scatter. Division has to scatter. Oppression has to scatter. Families being intimidated has to scatter. Children being traumatized has to scatter. Workers and neighbors being labeled as enemies and threats, all of those have to scatter. Renaming an invasion as protection has to scatter when God arises. Because in this moment, the truth is being twisted. Chaos is being created. And fear is being weaponized. And then come right to our city and blame us for it. I got news for them today that this is a gross miscalculation. Because lies only work when we divide it. But how many know that when we stand together, truth will arise every time? And we know this is not a battle against flesh and blood, but a spiritual battle against principalities and evil forces in high places. a spiritual battle against anything and anyone and any system that attempts to deny our love, our unity, and our peace with one another and with our God. This is a battle against the forces of division that want us to spend more time fighting about the problem than we spend solving the problems. So we come today with the spiritual power, believing that God is with us and our unity and love for one another, y'all. This is how we fight. Our response must be different. We must not become what they are doing to us. We cannot overcome evil with evil, but we got to overcome evil with our collective good. We must not become what they are doing to us. We are to be the one Minnesota that we are called. Minnesota nice is going to break the ice. And we can walk confidently in that, knowing that God has already given us the victory. And that is why today is a day of prayer and fasting and truth and freedom, because truth matters. And the truth is that God is always on the side of the vulnerable, making it clear today what side we are on. The side of love and joy and peace and faithfulness and gentleness and kindness and patience and self-control and what is right in the eyesight of our Almighty God. Because I want to tell you today that we are on the winning side today in the face of darkness. And in the midst of being enslaved, in the midst of being beaten and murdered and imprisoned and marginalized, I hear the songs of my forefathers not waiting for victory to show up, but boldly claiming what God already has given to them. I can hear the songs that come, the melodies that come out of their voice that say, victory is mine. Victory is mine. Victory today is mine. I told Satan, get thee behind, 'cause victory today is mine. And the more we stay close to God and one another, we will have the victory. So today, let God arise in justice. Let God arise through unity. Let God arise in peace. Let God arise in love. And let God arise in the people of Minnesota who refuse to be divided. And let God arise and get ICE out of Minnesota. Come on, say it with me. We are better together. We are better together. Amen.
Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum. I'm the Executive Director of Islamic Association of North America. First, I will start with recitation of the Quran. God says in the Quran, وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ وَحَمَلْنَاهُمْ فِي الْبَرِّ وَالْبَحْرِ وَفَضَّلْنَاهُمْ عَلَى كَثِيرٍ مِّمَّنْ خَلَقْنَا تَفْضِيلًا. And the meaning of that is we have certainly honored the children of Adam and carried them on land and sea and provided for them of the good things, preferred them over much of what we have created. This verse establishes one of the most basic human rights and human dignity. Allah declares that every human being, regardless of race, immigration, or social status, is honored. That is why we are here today. Today is a historic day, a day when federal government tried to divide us, and Minnesota said no. We are united. Across our state, federal immigration enforcement has been relentless. Families
have been terrorized. Daily life has been disrupted. Schools have moved to remote learning because parents fear for their children's safety. That is shame. All of that has been justified by a racist lie targeting the Somali community in Minnesota. But we are proud Minnesotans. And this reckless operation known as Operation Metro Surge led to the killing of our neighbor, Renee Good, who was a mother and a beloved neighbor. And before her body was even cold, the federal government labeled her as a terrorist. Shame. That is not justice or accountability, but a violation of human dignity. As Muslims, we know this pattern of all too well. Dehumanize, label, and justify violence. That is shame. But today we are not gathered out of fear. We're gathered out of love for our neighbors, for our children, and for our future. When the violence escalated, we did not turn away. We showed up, we shared food, we marched together, and many of you stood outside our places of worship to protect those inside while we prayed. We will never forget such a solidarity and a dignity in action. Thank you, Minnesota. And today we are not here only to grieve, but to also demand justice. We demand ICE out of Minnesota now. ICE out of Minnesota now. ICE out of Minnesota now. We demand accountability from DHS and ICE and to end federal attacks on immigrants and the Somali community. And to our community, immigrant community, I say this clearly to you. You are not garbage. You are gorgeous. You are not foreign, you are familiar. You are not far away, you are our future. And to the federal government, look at this gathering here. Look at this gathering here. I know you're watching, take good pictures. Your division did not work. Your demonization failed. Your cruelty has been exposed. Because when human dignity is honored, truth always wins. We will not be labeled. We will not be silenced. We will not back down. May God grant us justice and peace. Thank you, Minnesota.
Hello, Minnesota. Good Shabbos. Shabbat Shalom. My name is Rabbi Ariel Lekach Rosenberg. I am the rabbi of Shir Tikva congregation in South Minneapolis. I am so damn proud to be from Minneapolis. Holy One, known by many names, felt in breath and in courage, heard in our cry for justice, be with us now in this moment. I want to lift up the names of two neighbors, Victor Manuel Diaz, abducted from his workplace in Minnesota on January 6th, who died in ICE custody in Texas on January 14th. I want to lift up the name of Renee Macklin Good, queer poet, wife, parent, murdered in South Minneapolis by ICE on January 7th while observing an abduction in her neighborhood. May their memories be for blessing. May their families be comforted and surrounded in love. So here's what I know, beloveds. Beneath this paramilitary invasion of our state, something new is growing. This civil society, this weaving of love is growing beneath this crust of ice. Underground healthcare, because ICE is in our hospitals. Hybrid schools, because ICE is abducting our parents and our children and our teachers. Mutual aid structures and food distribution, because ICE is patrolling our neighborhood stores. And neighbors are bringing breast milk and menstrual pads and supplies because parents are being abducted and their children are left at home. The scale and stakes of what we now create for one another are immense, are impossible and urgent, and they confirm what we have always known. We need each other. And together we are irrepressible. Irrepressible. So, Holy One, in this time of rupture and change, we know we need more creativity, more experimentation, new courage, new alliances, new possibilities. So will you imagine with me, what songs will we sing when our breath is no longer being used to blow whistles on our street corners? What joy-filled celebrations will we throw, the most epic of block parties, when we can all leave our homes without fear? What healing will our doctors offer? What wisdom will our teachers teach? What clarity will our children hold about the ways that we all belong to one another? What will we create together when we are no longer fighting this culture of death? So let us imagine using all of these beautiful skills, all of this powerful mutual aid, all of this fearless organizing in a world without ICE. So to begin, we know this much: ICE out of Minnesota! ICE out of Minnesota! We must do everything in our power to make it so. Holy One, make us a people who say yes, and yes, and yes to one another. Yes to widening the circle. Yes to shared responsibility. Yes to a courage that is bigger than fear. This moment will take all of us. Let us know that together we are strong.
Thank you for those beautiful and powerful words. And I just want to say, look at this group of people, inspirational, motivational, reminding us this fight did not start yesterday, but started hundreds of years ago. And to the out front community represented here, thank you. Oh my God, a hand. This is our state. Thank you for bringing it. Thank you so much. So we're here today because our state is hurting. We've seen thousands of families being torn apart, attacks for simply trying to witness what is happening in our communities, including the murder of our neighbor, Rachel Good. We've seen, say her name, Rachel Good. We've seen an agency that seems to have no guardrails as they have caused this pain and suffering all across Minnesota. Renee Good. But you people are the beauty of our state. You have shown the rest of the world and the nation that here in Minnesota, when one of us hurts, we jump into action. We bring love and food and diapers and donations and all the friggin' rage and joy. Patrol our schools, protect places of worship, bring supplies to people too scared to go out. They came to our state because they see what we built. They came to our state because all of the people they try to scapegoat for their scumbaggery.
My name's Alicia. My family's health is so important to me. That's why we choose a nurse practitioner. My husband Paul thought he had heartburn and made an appointment with our NP. Our NP really listened. She ordered tests and saved his life. Paul had open heart surgery for a critical blockage in his heart.
Scumbaggery have made this place great. But they underestimated Minnesota, and man, we're as mad about that as we are everything else. I mean, let's be honest. We're doing everything right if the morally bankrupt have to come at us this hard. The pain and suffering has been immense and it continues, but our solidarity is stronger. And I just want to note that I just read that over 700 businesses chose to close today. Think about that. Give them a round of applause, all these local businesses who committed to solidarity today. And when today is over, let's commit to shopping at the businesses that stood with us and make sure they can make it through these tough times. Because the silence from the corporations in this state is deafening. So let's spend our money at places that actually care about standing for our community. So how do we get here today? And why are we shutting things down? Well, it's because so many wonderful rapid response and mutual aid workers, they just decided everybody needs to come together. Everybody needs to learn how to pitch in, and today you're going to hear how. So first off, groups of Minnesotans put out an audacious call. Unions, faith groups, community organizations, immigrant rights groups, the queer community decided to say enough. And they came with shared demands. No work, no school, and no shopping on January 23rd. And look at this. Look at this. So let's do a quick reminder of the demands that we are asking of ourselves and of our neighbors. First, Minnesota and national companies must become Fourth Amendment businesses. Cease economic relations with ICE and refuse ICE entry or use their property for staging grounds. That is one. Two, not a single friggin' penny for funding for ICE in this congressional budget or any congressional budget, and human rights violations of Americans who are doing this to our neighbors. Stop fueling. The officer who killed Renee Good must be legally held accountable. Instead of going after peaceful protesters and politicians who have stood up for our state, we demand an investigation to the officer who murdered our neighbor. And most clear of all the chant we will say until we leave this building, ICE out of Minnesota now. So before we move on to our next speakers, let's lift up the 100 organizations who sponsored this event and made this happen. Which is the perfect lead-in to our next group of speakers, because over 20 unions and federations who bring hundreds of thousands of Minnesotans together have really made a difference. We know Minnesota, and one of the things that is so amazing about Minnesota history is our labor unions, right? They've strived to be at the forefront of this fight for workers' rights, democracy, racial and social justice, and immigrant rights, and right here I am a proud member of the WGA and SAG-AFTRA. So that is why I am so excited to bring up the national presidents of 3 of the largest unions in the country. Please join me in welcoming from the Service Employees International Union, April Verrett, from the American Federation of Teachers, Randy Weingarten, and from the Communications Workers of America, Claude Cummings. I have a mic. Here you go, Randy.
You talk to them, you name them, you bring them inside to keep them warm. But real plant parents know you gotta feed them too, with Miracle Grow. Because what you grow, grows you.
Standing with Minnesota today, we are all Minnesota today. Our education unions from Minneapolis and St. Paul and Edmond, and here with me today were our leaders from Illinois and from Massachusetts. We are all Minnesota today. And as the faith leaders just said, look, at the very least, shouldn't schools and hospitals and churches be sacrosanct? What? And shouldn't the life of Renee Good, the life of 5-year-old Liam, the life of Shang Li Dao, shouldn't they be sacrosanct as well? As well as the countless number of immigrants who have come to Minnesota for a better life, who have come to America for a better life, just like my grandparents did. Donald Trump is using ICE to provoke violence in communities that have historically been welcoming and safe. And why? Why is he doing it? That too. to militarize American cities. It is state-sanctioned violence, no different from what Alabama did in Selma in the 60s. And this is not who we are. At Roosevelt High School, an educator was tackled and detained by federal agents using pepper spray near students and teachers. A teaching driving his family when ICE agents threw a flashbang grenade that almost killed his baby. Children are terrified. Families are afraid to send their kids to schools. This is not about immigration. This is about intimidation. It's not about restoring law and order. It's about terrorizing communities that Donald Trump doesn't like. It's about stripping Americans of our constitutional rights to protest. It's about undermining the promise of America and our love for our neighbors. As people have said already, Minnesota is being invaded by our own federal government. But you, my friends, our beloved community, Minnesotans, are not standing by silently. And in this, first they came for us moment, Minnesotans acted because that's what's right. And because authoritarians don't stop with the most vulnerable or the people that have the least power. Authoritarians don't stop until they are stopped. So we who are not Minnesotans are standing with Minnesotans because today you and we are meeting ICE violence with nonviolence. We are meeting their chaos and cruelty with compassion and community. And let me say one more thing. Minnesota, Donald Trump, he misunderstood Minnesota nice. Minnesota nice is compassion. Minnesota nice is courage. Minnesota nice is about protecting our communities and loving our neighbors. That is who all you are. That is who all we are. Fighting for democracy, fighting for fairness, fighting for our neighbors, delivering food, doing all what other speakers have already said. That is our work today. Many days, our work is in schools and workplaces and shops. But today, our work is raising our voices and standing in solidarity peacefully and patriotically, embracing our neighbors and telling ICE they are not welcome here. That is our work today.
When we fight, thank you. I'm Claude Cummings, International President of the Communication Workers of America, CWA. Thank you for having me here today, and thank all of you for having braving the cold and the government-backed ICE unleashed on your city streets to join together here and lift your voices as one. Well, whether here in Minneapolis or in Chicago, Charlotte, or Washington, D.C., we are all united when it comes to armed masked men in uniform abducting and harming people in the name of security. In the labor movement, we have a saying, an injury to one is an injury to all, and you here are the embodiment of that. Give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you, labor leaders, to the civil rights leaders, to the religious leaders, and to the community leaders here today. Thank you to my CWA family, including CWA District 7 Vice President Susan McAllister and CWA Local 7250 President Kieran Knudsen and his members. And thank you, all of you, the workers, the people who make this country run. Looking out over this crowd, I see many faces of the United States. I see the black, the brown, the white, and the indigenous. I see the LGBTQ+ and the disabled. I see those who were born here and those who came here for a better life. And I see us united in our values of fairness, justice, and freedom. But listen, those values are under attack now, like never before in this country. Not since the days of Jim Crow have we seen a government so determined to divide us, limit us, and silence us. But I believe in the power of working people to make a difference, even in the face of unchecked hate. Within the CWA family, we've had several encounters with ICE, including 2 of our union siblings who were abducted in the job in St. Cloud just an hour from here. Boo! Boo! A third CWA member with our News Guild has also been taken. An attack on one is an attack on all of us, and we will not stop until our family is whole again. Know that CWA stands in solidarity with you, with workers, and with those who share our values. We stand in defiance of a wannabe dictator, and we will rise against the corporations and Trump's billionaire buddies quietly funding his campaign to shred the Constitution. Political scientists and historians tell us when countries have successfully prevented or reversed authoritarian control, unions have played an important role in stopping it. How do we do that? We stand shoulder to shoulder with our union siblings and with allies across the country. We do that when we join together and focus our attention directly on the corporations that enable fascism. Our unity across communities, organizations, and unions is our power. And whatever we do, we must do it together. Listen, we're in the same boat. And while none of us asked to be here, I can tell you about the looks on your faces and the organizing already happening here, that we will rise to this moment. History is calling on each of us to play our part for the future. That will take many different forms, but whatever you do, whether it's little or a lot, what matters is, instead of bowing down, you stood your ground. So Minneapolis, let me ask you, are we going to bow down? Are we going to bow down? Are we going to bow down? Then let's continue our fight. Our movement, one voice, one goal. When we fight, thank you.
Minnesota! Y'all can do a little bit better than that. Minnesota! Now that felt nice. I am April Verrett, and I am the proud international president of the SEIU. And if you are ready to choose love over hate, joy over terror, peace over chaos, right over wrong, then you are in the right place. Because, Minnesota family, we are here because something is happening in this country that demands our time, our attention, and our resistance. That's right. Thank you, sis. We are here because our communities are under attack. We are here because we know exactly what we must do in moments like this, don't we? We stand up and we fight back. Because across this country, our communities are being literally hunted, intimidated, punished, jailed, while our democracy is being dismantled. But here's the thing, friends. I know deep down in my soul that we are not without hope, and we are most certainly not without power. And look, I came here in this bitter, bitter cold, and y'all, this is a little goddamn ridiculous. I'm just gonna have to call a thing, like, this is not okay. But here's the thing, Minnesota. It might be bitterly cold, but today, you all brought the heat, Sean. You could just put that down. Because you all brought the heat. And so I just want to call a thing. Because make no mistake about it, what we are seeing from this federal government is not about safety. It's not about law and order. It's about power. In Minnesota, you all know the truth about power, and you know the truth about Philando Castile. You know the truth about George Floyd. You know the truth about Renee Good, who only got shot and killed by an ICE agent for standing up for her Somali neighbors. Philando Castile, George Floyd, Renee Good, not isolated tragedies. They are connected. And we've seen this playbook before. America has a long, long history of using law to excuse brutality, to make injustice look official, orderly, and acceptable. The Ku Klux Klan, it was not just a group of violent extremists acting alone. No. The Ku Klux Klan was a part of an organized system of terror. And today, ICE is playing the same damn role. They may wear different uniforms, they may talk a different language, but a thing is a thing, it's the same damn thing. And whenever this country has reached a moment like this, when injustice becomes policy, something else happens too. The people will rise up. The people will rise up. Not because it's easy, not because it's safe, but because the only alternative to rising up is surrender. And I don't think Minnesota is going to surrender. And I know my time is short and I'm going to start wrapping it up, but I want to say this. I've been to Selma, Alabama. I've stood on that bridge and I saw the through line from Selma to Memphis to Minneapolis. The fights are connected. We are up against corruption and greed, racism and white supremacy. We are up against state-sanctioned violence. Y'all, this is our Selma. This is our Selma. And we must rise and we must organize. We must rise and we must organize. Listen, history tells us real change does not come from one single day of action, y'all. It comes when ordinary people decide to stay engaged when the cameras leave. So from here, we still organize. From here, we show up. From here, we participate. From here, we remember something essential. This country has never, ever moved forward because those in power, suddenly they get a conscience. No. This country moves forward because people like each and every one of you insist with peace, with persistence, and we insist peacefully and persistent together. We insist that this country of ours must and will do better. Family, if we stay organized, when we stay united, and when we keep our eyes and our arms wrapped around one another, instead of keeping our hearts in fear, then history will record our moment, not just as a time of crisis, but as a turning point. A turning point, a moment when the people stood up, when working people claimed our God-given right and power to what is ours. A moment when this country began once again to bend towards justice. family. That is where we must go from here. So let's go get it. There it is. Now I think
At Ancestry, we believe every question about the past is a spark. And when curiosity strikes about the everyday lives of your family, we're here with answers only your ancestors can provide. How is your family woven into 250 years of U.S. history? Find out now at Ancestry.
this camera. Did you park close or no?
Yeah, park right by your hotel. For being up high like that, I'm gonna forget.
No, because she's working too. She is too.
Ask the veterans.
I think it already ended.
I think it did too. It did?
Yeah, because that's where all these guys are coming from.
During the first year and a half of my first daughter's life, she suffered with anemia.
It was scary.
So seeing
We want a future where our families are safe, where children are free of fear, and where our tax dollars are used to protect our communities. We continue to hold the families of Renee Nicole Good, 5-year-old Liam Conejo Ramos, and every family that has been harmed by this unjust system in our hearts.
Hello guys, how you doing? As many of you have seen my social media profile or video that went viral, I'm the Uber driver at the airport. That was kind of, I think ICE tried to intimidate and terrorize me in my daily work capacity, but I wasn't, because I noticed it quick. I'm a trucker, so I've been on the road, I've gone to every state in America, I've dealt with a lot of people, and I can see when somebody is trying to do something negative to me real quick. I'm very aware and alert. So when ICE came and I called the first lady that approached me, Nazi Barbie, she calls herself Alpha 4. I call her Nazi Barbie because she came in there like a robot and just knocked on my window and was like, "Can I get your ID? I need your proof of citizenship." And I was just chilling and I'm like, "What the hell? Where did you come from?" And she's like, "Well, I'm U.S. Border Patrol." I said, "Border Patrol? I don't think I'm driving a semi. I don't think I'm at the border. So I'm in a parking lot. You must be parking lot attendant or parking lot patrol or something, you know?" And she was like, "Hey, I'm Border Patrol and I got 2 guys in the back running your plate. So either way, you give me your driver's license or I'm going to get your identity anyways." She didn't know that was a rental, so she couldn't get anything. So she got even madder, and now the big boss, I call him Napoleon Ice, Bovino, you know, he came, and he's like, "Well, are you an illegal alien?" I'm like, "Illegal alien? Is there a legal alien?" So either way, I toyed with him a little bit, and I was like, "I feel like I'm from another planet. Maybe we should do some blood tests and see if I'm an alien or a human, you know?" Because he's supposed to be like 30 years in the force as a Border Patrol official, and his unprofessionalism just left me no choice but to start toying with him. Because how do you just approach somebody at work and be like, "Proof of citizenship"? I'm like, "What? You probably need my parking receipt or something, you know, not citizenship, you know?" Either way, guys, this is, at the core of this is hatred. It's division, it's destabilization, it's misinformation, and it's evil to the core. So what we need to do is what we're doing today. We got to keep doing this until all of this terror just leaves and hopefully disappears from the whole globe. Because if they leave Minnesota and we kick them out, they hopefully don't go to another state, because there's humans just like us that live there. So this white supremacy nonsense should not be tolerated anywhere. And to the families that have suffered, like the family of Renee Nicole Good, from the bottom of my heart, we appreciate you and we love you as Somalians. So thank you, Minnesota.
My name is Melissa Silva. I'm CEO and co-family owner of El Burrito Mercado, we are a unique family-owned restaurant and marketplace. Our business began in 1979 when our parents, entrepreneurial immigrants from Mexico, built El Burrito Mercado in St. Paul. Like so many immigrant parents, they wanted one simple thing for their children: a better life. To build that life, they made sacrifices, worked tirelessly, and never lost faith. Today, we are proud to be a third-generation, all-family-owned business. And we live our parents' legacy by providing Mexicanos and Latinos a taste of home and what Minnesotans across the state have come to love: the flavors and the joy of la cultura mexicana. We are not outsiders. We are contributors to Minnesota's economy and culture. Since the founding of this country, it was the immigrant that broke the soil. Time and again, immigrants have helped build and elevate America toward its highest ideals. That is why it is so hard to understand how a country that depends on entrepreneurs like us is targeting the very people who built and continue to build that economy and culture. What we are living through is not only injustice and violence against humanity, it is deliberate economic violence. All small businesses are suffering across Minnesota. Raids, chaos in our streets, and insecurity are not only targeting the so-called criminals, it's tormenting my family, our communities, our staff, and keeping our customers away. Every business executive must ask, what are members of the U.S. Senate doing to repair the damage the federal government has created? Small businesses need support coming from this economic violence, and most importantly, the U.S. Senate must rein in ICE, pass oversight guardrails as they continue negotiating the budget, and ensure ICE does not get more funding. They cannot get more funding. But you know what else is really concerning? The silence. The silence of leaders and corporation executives benefiting from immigrant labors, yet stay quiet while business communities and families are harmed. That silence is part of the violence. And this violence must stop. We are calling on our leaders, our allies, and corporations to stand with us, to stand up for us, and to use their voices. We demand that ICE immediately leave Minnesota so families and small businesses like ours can get back to what we have always done: running our business, creating jobs, and contributing to the economy. Small businesses make this country strong. Immigrant businesses make this country great.
So how about a hand for these fantastic storytellers? I want want to bring everybody up, and as I do, I want to bring up, now is the time that we're going to get to know the people who have organized us, the people who are organizing for these folks, and help explain how you can further get involved. So please, without further ado, let's bring everybody up. Come on, let's get these moving people up. Let's go, here we go. To tell us about Monarca's Rapid Response and Neighborhood Observer Training's Executive Director of Unidos, which created the Monarca program, Emilia Gonzalez Avalos. To share resources for legal help from Copal Immigrant Defense Network line, Edwin Torres. To help set up neighborhood signals with Whipple Watch, we've got Kai, and from Defense 612, we've got Flannery. Hey, y'all. And to explain the corporate accountability toolkits from MIRAC is Mira Atobel Resendez. I don't remember who's speaking first.
Hello, Minnesotans. We know that people are tired and that you are staying because you're being nice. We know that. If you look around throughout the day, we know that there's a lot of people missing. And that's the immigrants and refugees that are scared to come out of their homes right now. So we're going to address them at home. A nuestras familias inmigrantes. Somos de raíz profunda. Y sueños sin límites. Nos quieren enterrar, pero no saben que somos semillas.
Nosotros estamos acá para hablar directamente a nuestra comunidad. Somos nosotros que estamos construyendo las líneas de defensa para proteger a nuestros queridos. Somos nosotros los que le estamos dando comida. Y gracias a todos ustedes que están hoy presentes en esta noche. Pero no se olviden, nosotros no los vamos de aquí. Y gracias for all of you for standing together for our immigrant brothers and sisters.
In a nation built by working families, it is a moral failure that the wealthy few grow richer by turning fear into profit and family separation into a multi-billion-dollar industry, while communities are torn apart, surveilled, and terrorized. They got it snap and other lifelines so the greedy few could bankroll mass deportations, choosing profit over working families without shame. So we're not gonna leave here until they hear this message. We know what you're doing, and Minnesotans are not taking it.
My name is Mira. I am a member of the Minnesota Immigrant Rights Action Committee. We've been around since 2006, fighting for legalization for all and an end to all deportations, and that fight has not come to a stop. If anything, it has kept snowballing and snowballing to get bigger and bigger, and it has accumulated to this great march that brought us here today. I want to thank all of you who have stuck around to the bitter end here, and give you an idea of some of the actions that you can continue to take. Our goal here is to hit the corporations and the politicians where it hurts the most, which is in their pockets. And so some actions that you can take right now and over the weekend to keep this fight going are to go to iceoutnowmn.com to let the big corporations in Minnesota know who did not close down what the people with consciousness today, that they are the ones who are in the wrong, and they are the ones who need to change what they are doing and their priorities. Because right now they are siding with the oppressor. They are siding with our enemy, who we all need to be united against in order to win. And it's not just the corporations that we need to be targeting. It's the politicians as well. I urge